Hello and welcome to Nobody Puts Abby in a Corner, the second episode of our podcast featuring Abby Hunter. Thanks for joining us today, Abby.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So today we're going to dive a little bit into the real serious part of this topic, right? So why wait, right? For those of you who may be just joining us, we're working with Abby, talking a little bit about her success in the pageant industry, but also how her experience being bullied has shaped her and kind of brought her along in her journey and really helped to build her and help her grow into the young woman that she is today. So today is a really tough topic of bullying. So you mentioned the bullying started at a real young age. So about when was that?
I think I was about in second or third grade when it really started up.
Okay, second or third grade. What's your first memory of being bullied, and what was the content? Why?
I wish I could tell you. I was, an 8-year-old little girl who was just being relentlessly picked on, and it felt like it never stopped, and it continued on a day-to-day basis, and it felt like I wasn't getting any help to have it stop.
Looking back, is there anything that was like a common denominator? Like, why were you targeted? I mean, I remember when I was little, I used to get picked on. I was, I guess I really don't know why, other than, I wasn't the normal kid, I guess. I was overweight, but I remember, people throwing grasshoppers down my dresses, or, I would be the last to get picked for the sports team. So as little girls, you have to wonder, like, why me? And why did it keep going? Was there a particular instance that you can, like, pinpoint? Like, was it an event? Was it at recess? Like, anything at all that you can, like, say, yeah, that's when it started?
I don't even think so. I think it just kind of snowballed effect into getting more and more progressive as the days continued. It always really, from what I remember, happened in those in-between moments when there wasn't really that many people around, but you never really know why until you're in it. You don't really know what's going on.
So the bullies kind of did it at an opportune time when there was no witnesses, there was nobody that could stand up for you, there was nobody that could hold them accountable, or
most of the time, yeah.
So it was like they were professional bullies. And was it other kids in the same class as you? Was it upperclassmen? Was it lowerclassmen?
It was genuinely really only the people that were in my class.
In your class, okay.
Yeah.
Were there other people that were also bullied?
I imagine so.
But you were never like in a.
We were ever in like we were the bullied kids group. But knowing of who I know, I imagine that I wasn't the only one.
And how did you deal with that? Did you keep it to yourself? Did you tell your mom right away? How did you deal with that?
I always told my mom, really, because I would come out of school crying every day, and they would want to know what was happening. Yeah, my mom was always the first person that I told if anything had ever happened.
And what did she say?
She was upset. She was angry. No one wants to see their child upset or hurt. And she tried as hard as she could, and it just never progressed anywhere, no matter how much she tried to help.
She tried to talk to the teachers and things like that.
Teachers, administration, none.
At the end of the day, when you're crying or in the corner or upset, like, did any other kids try to be like, hey, what's the matter? Or, like, did anything at all? Anybody try to get your back?
I mean, I had a couple of good, close friends, but it just, at least to me, at the time especially, it felt like everyone was against me. And it felt like no one was trying to stand up for me in, like, my class, which I think was important. That's where I spent most of my time on a day-to-day basis, and it felt like no one was supporting me in that environment.
So how did you do it every day? How did you go back to school every day knowing what you were probably going to face the next day?
I had to.
You had to.
Because I had to, really. I mean, if I had the choice, I wouldn't have gone. I begged my family to homeschool me because I didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's really sad.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Right? There's so many layers of sadness. So that was second, third grade. I mean, are you saying this continued through every grade?
Yeah, pretty much. Some years were definitely better than others, but
Are you a little Miss Popularity?
yeah, apparently. I shut that off. My bad. No, some years were definitely not as intense as others, but the years that were really bad kind of made up for the little breaks.
And is there anything that you can attribute to the years that weren't as bad? Like, did something change? Was it different people? Did you do something different? Like,
I think the years that it was less was definitely my high school experience, or what I had of it because of COVID. And I think really it was because we weren't always with the same group of people. Whereas in like elementary school, you're in the same room with the same group of kids every day. Mm-hmm. But in the high school, or at least here, you're in different rooms with all sorts of different people from grades. So you're not with them in one single classroom for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. Right. So how, like, that takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength for somebody who's going through something like that to then not only move forward with just your normal life, but then to take on this goal and these aspirations of going into pageantry. Mm-hmm. Like, how did that not stop you? How did you not feel like, oh my gosh, kids are going to pick on me even more because I'm a beauty queen? Like, how did you find the strength to do what you wanted to do?
I think just because I wanted to do it. I mean, they did pick on me, and I was bullied for doing pageants and thinking of myself as a beauty queen when I was told multiple times that I wasn't. And so I think I just kind of tried to ignore it and block it out as best as I could.
Mm-hmm. Now, you told us in the first episode that you made some really strong connections and friendships with your pageant friends. Did any of those girls have the same types of experiences?
From what I've heard, yes. Yeah. We've all kind of bonded initially when we first became friends about how we were bullied and how we're glad we're all friends because we have a good group of girls to connect with now.
Mm-hmm. And while you were going through the pageant journey, at times, like, if you're going through current bullying, did you reach out to those people? Were they your outlet to talk to, like, at the time something was happening?
A lot of the time, yeah. It was nice to have a group that wasn't from Vermont, so they didn't know about my school. They didn't know personally any of the people, so they had their own opinion on them and how they act towards them. Mm-hmm. So it was a nice space to just be able to let my feelings out and be heard without any side connections to anyone else other than me in that situation.
Mm-hmm. I just find it it's just so empowering, and that's one of the purposes for this series, because, you know, not only did you experience it, but you overcame it and you moved forward and you did all these things that you wanted to do, or all of this could have just held you back. Mm-hmm. You could have been like, I don't want to deal with it, I'm not even going to try. You know, so that's really what this is all about. Nobody puts Abby in a corner, right? You just stood your ground and you just kept going out there.
I tried my hardest.
You did. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there. I mean, the topic of bullying kind of comes and goes, I find. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't hear about it for a long time, then all of a sudden it's a thing. Are there advocacy groups out there that you know of? I think we should research that.
I do too.
Right? So we're going to research that a little bit and see what types of groups are out there to help people, whether it be the victims of bullying or to help guide administration in communities on what to do and how to deal with it and how to resolve it and how to bring it to people's attention, because a lot of times it's unspoken until it's too late. Mm-hmm. Right?
Absolutely.
So for anybody out there who's being bullied now, what do you have to say to them? What's your advice?
Take it one day at a time. I didn't think there was going to be light at the end of the tunnel either. For multiple years, I didn't think so. And I'm here now. I'm a college student. I've never been happier because I just tried to put one foot in front of the other every single day.
Yeah, that's amazing. just because I think there's some people out here who are listening and probably identifying. Again, we went into this knowing we were going to ask some hard questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the hardest single incident that you can describe to us?
In 7th grade, I was bullied very horribly in person, online. I was cyberbullied. There was a point when I was in 7th grade, 12 years old, I didn't want to be here anymore. It was so hard. I wanted to give up. And I didn't. One of my friends, actually, her mom reached out to my mom. I told my mom.
Did you have suicidal thoughts? You did? But you never acted on anything, but you told somebody, you talked about it, you had some posts, you did some things, but you didn't act on it.
And I don't think I ever would have either.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a point where you just feel like giving up. Where you don't want to feel that pain anymore. And I think that's why a lot of people do have suicidal thoughts. Because they're just so tired of trying to be strong in all of those scenarios.
And there were some people that probably should have stood up for you, and you felt like why is this still going on?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is this still going? It's not a secret.
Right.
It's not in the back.
Right.
Sorry that happened too.
Thank you. I'm grateful for that girl and her mom every day. And like I said, I don't think I ever would have done anything. But it really was the beginning of a change in my mindset about, it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was fine, and then that thought just literally clicked in my mind in an instant that I just was tired.
That's a lot for a 7th grader.
It is a lot. It's a lot for a girl who's not even a teenager yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What did you do during summers? I mean, so you had problems during the school year. What happened during the summer?
Everything stopped because I wasn't around anyone at my school.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't dancing. I wasn't at school. I spent all the summers with my mom.
So you dreaded the end of summers.
I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What did you do during the summer that helped you live life and have a positive attitude and just do things? What did you do during the summer?
I really just spent time with my mom. My mom is so my best friend. And so many people would probably be embarrassed to say that, but she is my best friend. And I love spending every single day with her, and but she just always made me happy.
She can't be your chauffeur for forever.
I'm sorry. No, I know she can't. I know she can't. But
she likes it. But one of these days,
I know.
girlie.
I'm scared. I want to drive.
That's something else we're gonna have to work on
Yeah.
overcoming, huh?
Yeah.
This girl, she's in college now. We need to
Take it
get
one
her
step
some
at a time.
driver's ed. And
I was in driver's ed. I passed driver's
she
ed.
passed driver's ed.
I just need to actually practice driving now.
That's funny. So super awesome that you've had a turnaround in your life since you've been going to college. Not to dive into how the school system has failed you or anything, but all of a sudden there's a turnaround. Where are you going to college?
I'm going to Castleton University, or I guess it's now Vermont State University at Castleton.
Vermont State University at Castleton. So it's just it's a whole new environment, it's whole new people, it's whole new teachers. I mean, are there any of your classmates that are there, or are you just not in the same program?
They're not in the same program as me.
So now you're with people that have the same types of interests and just don't know any of your baggage.
Right.
And it feels good.
It's a very nice kind of reset. I think it's a lot similar to when kids switch schools. If it's elementary or a high school, middle school, it's a reset from all of the people that you knew. Especially in Vermont and Poultney, you usually go to an elementary school and then you go to a middle or like a high school. And you really only go to 2-3 high schools your 2-3 schools your whole time. And you know everyone knows you, everything that happens, especially in small towns. And so it was nice to be able to kind of have a reset from all of that and start fresh with new people.
Right. Awesome. So we're going to be continuing on with this series, and we're going to talk about the good things, and we're going to talk about the bad things as they come up. So today was like really diving deep into that, but we're going to talk about more, how it's molded your positive experiences and how you've continued to overcome. For anybody out there who's listening to us, if you have any stories that you want to share, if you've been bullied, if you know somebody who's been bullied, if you are the bullier, just think about it. Why put somebody through so much pain? There's really no purpose. How does it make you feel any better about yourself to see the pain that somebody else is going through for really no reason? What did they ever do to you other than just being themselves? Maybe they look different. Maybe they sound different. Maybe they do things that are different from you. That doesn't mean that you need to pick on them about it. So anybody out there, if you're a kid, if you're an adult, if you're an administrator, if you know of any of these advocacy programs that we're going to look into, or if you just need somebody to talk to, reach out to us here at NYBT Media, and we're going to look to get you in touch with somebody that can help. And if you have any suggestions for us, for Abby, or for anybody else who's going through these situations, let us know. So stay tuned for episode 3, which will be coming up. In the meantime, thank you so much for sharing today's experiences, and
Of course.
we hope you come back, and
Always.
remember, nobody puts Abby in the corner.